Hi, welcome to my new YouTube channel, Jeff's Pinballs. And I'm Jeff. At Jeff's Pinballs, we're going to talk about pinball tips, pinball reviews, pinball guides, pinball how-to, and just about anything pinball. Today's episode, being my first episode, is how to buy your first pinball machine. One of the first things you need to try and understand is your budget. How much do you actually want to spend on your pinball machine? Just these three machines here vary in price, vary in condition, vary in age, and vary in the amount of work I've had to do, to get them up and running to the state they're in currently. So budget is a big piece, but it also ties into the type of machine you're looking for. If you want to, spend a lot of money, that's fine. You've got to work out, do you want new or do you want something that's a bit older? At the same time, if you're buying something that's older, you need to factor in what additional work needs to be done. Is there anything else with that machine that you need to spend on? Keeping in mind that some of these older machines, the parts are harder to get, and if you're not savvy with do it yourself, you actually have to pay someone else to come and do the work for you or take it to them. So it's a real toss-up of a newer machine, this one's being a home use only from brand new, versus these older machines that have probably had a harder life. So budget is a real key piece as a starting point. And then it's the type of machine. These are solid state machines. Those older machines from the 70s are electromechanical or an EM machine. So what type of machine do you want? I've always had solid state. I like the way they play. I like they're a little bit more modern, a little bit more functionality. But there's a lot of collectors that like the EM as well. But again, it's a different world when it comes to repairing, finding parts and maintaining the machine. So what you think up front might be a really good price, may not necessarily be in the long run. You've got to look at it from a cost of ownership. What's this machine going to cost me? I guess then too, it's what machine do you want? What interests you? All these machines are different. They all have different themes. Over the years I've had a number of different machines. Some that I've liked, some that I haven't liked, and some that I've had to sell on because it just really didn't do it for me. So my tip is go play the machine. Find a machine that you really like. Don't just go buy one, because it's a good price or because someone else said it was good. Play it yourself. Go down to the local arcade or barcade, find someone that's got it. Look up in the local forums, see if someone's got this machine that you like, because you might find you're investing a lot of money for a machine that's not going to, give the enjoyment that you would like. So you've worked out your budget. You know what you've got to spend. You know what you're after, or hopefully you do. Where do you buy it from? These things are hard to come by, I can tell you. Getting harder and harder every day. Now there's a number of channels you can purchase these from. So you've got your online forums. You've got your online classifieds. You've got your local shops. There's plenty of arcade shops, amusement shops that sell new and used pinball machines. However, there's a lot of traps you've got to keep an eye out for. You're buying new, you're pretty well right. Anything old, second-hand, it's best to get someone to have a look over it, especially if it's your first pinball machine. Even if someone that just has a really good idea. There's a number of factors that can impact, one, the value of a pinball machine, but two, the playability. Is it worn out? Does it require parts? Is it working? The electronics boards in the back, as they should be, or as described. There's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of people selling machines that don't even exist, and people are paying big money, and I'm talking thousands of dollars, to secure these pinball machines. So for your first pinball machine, unless you're really comfortable and you know that there's someone in another state or location that can verify and have a look for you, my view is try to get a pinball machine you can actually go out and see. Make sure you can play it, make sure you can get a feel for it, make sure that everything's as the seller's describing it. It's not always possible though, but if that's the case, try and find a shop. A lot of shops, even if they're in other states, other areas, will go for a fee and have a look at the machine, check it out for you. If you do buy something in a state, there's a lot of pinball or amusement arcade removalists who actually move the machine for you as well. And again, sometimes they can be used as part of that validation process. So really be wary of where you're going to buy it, how you're going to buy it, because you actually want to make sure it turns up once you pay that hard-earned money. I can still remember the first one I bought was only 15 minutes up the road, and we went and hired a van and threw it in the back of the van. And I've learnt a lot from that first pinball machine. And as you can see now, I've got a handful of machines, but you need to start somewhere. But really need to make sure that your experience through the first machine is, it's spot on. It's a big investment. These things aren't getting any cheaper. So there's obviously a number of other things that we'll cover off in our next episode. As we start getting a little bit more detail, what are the sort of things that you should be looking for? What are the telltale signs of what's good versus what you should be wary of in a pinball machine? Keeping in mind that a lot of these things can be fixed, repaired. I've bought machines that wouldn't even turn on, but after a bit of work and a bit of understanding how they work, I've been able to work through and resurrect the machine. So don't be afraid. Thanks for viewing the first episode of Just Pinball. I look forward to bringing more episodes in the weeks to come and give you more tips and updates about pinball. Bye.